You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Chiro Sushi, Barbara Eaton's 56-day chiropractic bootcamp, California Jam, Move Well University, the Black Diamond Club, Pure Chiro Notes, the Chiro Dex app, Dr. Alok Trivedi, Chiro Spark, Chirogram, Chiropractic Wealth Management, 8 Weeks to Wellness, Integrative Freedom, and Element Mattresses. Let's hustle. Good morning, Chiro Hustlers. I have Dr. Jennifer Rozenhart with me today, and she is with Clothes for Chiro, and she's coming in from San Jose area, Silicon Valley, Bay Area, all that cool stuff out there in California where 5 people live in one house and try to pay rent. And
how'd you know? That's exactly right. We don't have 5 in my house, but yeah, that's about how it goes around here.
But I just made a big transition, Dr. Jen. I came out from Denver, Colorado, the Mile High City, to Grand Junction, where no one lives.
Oh, it must be beautiful. I can only imagine. The concrete jungle here has its advantages, but space, you must be loving it.
Well, you know, they call this the Valley, and we're nestled between like some mesas. So there's like the Grand Mesa, there's like something called the Book Cliffs, and there's something called the Monument Mesa, which is like a national like park type thing. So we're like right in this like little valley of all these mesas. Pretty sweet.
Lovely. You'll have to do a lot of exploring. Get out there.
I look forward to it. Yeah,
Totally.
Yesterday was our first full day out here. So yeah, lots to look forward to.
Lots to look for. Lots of boxes. Unboxing.
So let's deflect back to you and talk about what you're up to, and tell us about Clothes for Chiro and what is it doing for the chiropractic profession?
Oh my gosh. You know, I'm so excited to be part of this company and this business because what is most important to me is making chiropractors profitable and successful. There are so many great practitioners out there, like excellent practitioners, but what happens is we never really learn how to run successful businesses or treat our practices like businesses. And so they're great practitioners, but they end up leaving the profession, closing their doors, becoming bankrupt. And it's heartbreaking. It's really, really heartbreaking to me. So watching people transform their practices and really what it does to their lives is like, gives me goosebumps. It's awesome. So we train chiropractors on how to look at their practices like businesses and how to look at things like profit margin, how to really take a different look at their business, and then train them on how to do what our bread and butter is a great day one, day two, so you can have a profitable business and close people into your care.
So why do you think there was such a need for this? I mean, what did you see happening on the landscape of chiropractic to see that, you know, we needed to start like truing this up and making it better?
Oh, I mean, what I really see out, you know, communicating with chiropractors is that people are suffering and struggling, and they're not having the lives that they wanted to when they got into chiropractic. I know for me, I was in practice 16 years before I actually sat in the seat at a masterclass and learned this. And, you know, I had a great life. I had a great practice. I'm here in Silicon Valley, which is, you know, one of the nation's most expensive places to live. I was a single mom, but I wasn't thriving. I wasn't taking like great vacations with my son like I wanted to. I wasn't really living fully, I would say. And so I see this a lot. I talk to a lot of chiropractors out there now who are like, well, you know, it's okay, but it's not what I dreamt it would be. And that's heartbreaking because we have an amazing, amazing product. We have the best healthcare product. And so our job is to be able to train chiros how to communicate better with that person across from you so that they say yes to the care, they get better, get great results, and chiros get to live the life that they want, that they dreamt of going into chiropractic college.
Well, interesting thing is don't you think that we're all like innately born to communicate?
Interesting. Absolutely. Yeah, well, of course we are. But you know what messes it up? What messes it up is our once we get through college, we think, oh, I'm a doctor now, and I've got my white coat, and I have to communicate in a different way, rather than be doctor that we forget that we're just humans, and it's actually pretty easy to relate to people on an innate level. So we train people, actually we kind of unscrew their minds a bit, like take a few steps back and learn, like, it's okay, you're a human, this is how we do it, you've been doing it your whole life. So it's fun, it's a really fun process to watch.
But to like beat back like the noise of like the world, like isn't it like we're like supposed to be able to like, say our ABCs and like at like I don't know whatever age that happens, and then we're supposed to be able to write sentences, and then we start talking to people, and it seems like we have to go back to the fundamentals with a doctor and teach them, you say this at this point, you say this at this point, and you get these results.
Yeah, I mean, it is going back to fundamentals, but that is critical, and it's essential, and it's missing. Actually, it's really, really missing from our education, is going back to those fundamentals. But one of the things that people really miss in the beginning is that they're talking too much. They're actually over talking, they're overdoing it, they're overselling, and people are coming to you for a problem. They're coming to you for resolution to the problem. And our job is to get all the information out, not overwhelm them with what we know and what we think they want to hear. So that's kind of the first step, is actually getting us to zip it a little bit more and listen more than talking. So
yeah, and I get that. I get that, because when you give that like awkward pause, like somebody has to move. Somebody has to say something.
And they want to jump in. Yes, exactly.
So when you ask that like that qualifying question, and then you just stop, somebody has to say something, and then that's the doctor's chance to then go into their mode of saying, well, this is my recommendation for you, and these are the things that I think that are necessary for you to be healthy. And I think that that's the real clincher for people once they start learning how to stop talking instead of just like boiling people over with all their beautiful brain. And
Exactly. Well put.
So let's go back a little bit in reverse, and tell me about your first masterclass and why you chose to go and learn this technique.
Well, my first masterclass had to be almost 5 years ago, maybe 4.5 years ago. And I went because I had a system. Well, I didn't know I had a system at the time, but I had a system for day 1, day 2. And like I said, I'd been in practice 16 years or so at the time. And I was a little bit bored. I was bored with our system. I didn't feel it was right for us anymore. Like I said, we weren't thriving. We were doing well. I mean, we were, but I knew there was another level. I knew there was something else that I was missing in terms of effectively reaching more people. And someone recommended it to me. We went, and I think one of the biggest downsides of chiropractors is that we say, oh, I'm going to go to this seminar, I'm going to pick and choose what the little pieces I'm going to integrate. And that's not what we did. So I practiced with my sister, which is amazing. So much fun. I recommend it to everybody. But we practiced together. So when we went, we said, okay, we're all in. We're going to learn this. We're going to be all in. And we're going to just totally change everything, because what I had heard from other people at that point was that's the recommendation. That's what we need to do. So we jumped in, we learned it, and it was transformational. It was absolutely life-changing and practice-changing. And it was 2 days. It was intense, and that hasn't changed. It is still 2 days. It is still pretty intense. But I learned things that I was thinking, God, why don't we teach this to people sooner? Why is this not part of mandatory curriculum for docs to be successful? But it was amazing. Loved it, and continue to love it from the other side of the table.
So I'm going to foreshadow a little bit, and I know that we're going to talk a little bit about Sean Rundle and Dr. Dan Bay, but let's stop for the moment and let's introduce a few people out there that are on the live feed. We got Kat Sarah. She is coming in from, if you put that in there, the comment feeds too, wherever you guys are watching in from, so we can like juice up this comment feed a little bit. But I know you guys, Kat's coming in from Salt Lake City. I know we got Dr. Dan Bay, who's coming in from the Chicago land. My good friend Andrew Stewart is coming in from Davenport, Iowa. Sean Manaher he says that chiropractors are like creative types. They have a great craft, but aren't always great at business building. So let's talk about that guy's comments a little bit. Chiropractors are creative types. They have a great craft, but aren't always great at business building. What does that mean?
Creative types. Well, I don't know. I don't know about creative types. I think I think it's the art part of what we do, right? That chiropractic absolutely is a craft and an art, and we use our hands in ways that, release healing in people. But I would agree 100% that we're not always good at looking at our practices like businesses, and we have to. And listen, it's not all about the money I got, and it's not for me either.
You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Chiro Sushi, Barbara Eaton's 56-day chiropractic boot camp, California Jam, Move Well University, the Black Diamond Club, Pure Chiro Notes, the Chiro Dex app, Dr. Alok Trivedi, Chiro Spark, Chirogram, Chiropractic Wealth Management, 8 Weeks to Wellness, Integrative Freedom, and Element Mattresses. Let's hustle.
It's important.
Yeah, you froze on me.
Winter I froze. I'm in the winter apocalypse.
You were in the winter apocalypse, and now it looks like I have snow in front of me too.
brutal out there.
Yeah, it's brutal, but it's bright and sunny out here in Grand Junction, Colorado, the center of Jim Chester's universe now.
Right, center of the universe, Jim.
So we have comments here from Dan McCoy, who says, "What's up, rock stars?" And Dan's just full of comedy. He says that you look like Lily Frozen, but it's more like Jennifer. Lily's my co-host on Chiro Station.
I know Lily.
And she has the tendency to freeze every once in a while.
I see. Got it.
So let's talk about your crew. I know you got Dan Bay and Sean Rundle, and I wanted you to share some of your love and admiration for these guys that are changing the landscape of the chiropractic profession.
I could not ask for two better partners in this. They're amazing. They're absolutely amazing. I can't say enough what they bring to the table. I mean, Dan has this huge vision for what we're doing, and he not only brings, the technical knowledge of sales, which we are always like picking up the crumbs from the table around our lovable ninja, but he's so bright and so dedicated to our vision in 2018 that he's just just to be around him and to learn from him is really a remarkable experience. He just brings so much, like I said, technical knowledge, but also his ability to communicate with us, with our crew, with our holding tank, with our members. It's amazing. And Sean is brilliant, another brilliant communicator, and he's quite funny. I don't know if you've met Sean. I know you've met Sean, but he brings a lot of humor to our group, and super bright. And it's just really a joy to be able to work with both of them and create our vision for 2018 and our expansion in Clothes for Chiro to save more doctors.
And I know you came into the whole tribe like 5 years ago. And I know you've been helping train and teach the master class. And yeah. What do you guys call that? Tank Palooza?
Yeah, well, our master class is really where we train our doctors in day 1, day 2 process. And then we have, after support called the tank, the holding tank, where we really, it's a think tank, it's a holding tank, it's all of those things. But we do have a Tankapalooza. Yes, that is our big party coming up in April. We do that every year. We throw it for our members, and we get together and have a good time, because I think one of the things that also happens to docs out there is that they lose community. They're out there by themselves on an island. And so one of our goals is also to keep us together, supported, and talk about the stuff that affects us. in private practice. So community is really important to us. And what better way to do it than go and hang by a pool in Scottsdale for a couple days and golf and hang out, you know? Be a good time.
So let's pull the curtain back a little bit and let's share
Okay.
some people some gold of what they get once they come out to one of your master classes and
Ooh.
what it means for them to start like learning. What does that mean? What does it look like?
Well, masterclass is 2 days. So it's a Friday and Saturday. The next one is end of February, February 23rd, 24th in Chicago. Who doesn't love Chicago in February? I mean, it's going to be amazing. Awesome. And really what they get is a very clear, entire, complete scripting out of day one, day two, how to perform this essential component to your practice. And I know sometimes people hate scripts, like they think, oh God, it's a script, but you have a script now, whether you realize it or not. It's just probably not as it's definitely not as effective as ours. So we do have the best day one and day two. And I know that from results. I know that from my personal results, but also from the results of the docs that we've trained. So what do they get? They come for 2 days, we train on it. And I don't mean we just give you a manual. I mean, we break it down step by step. Not only here are the questions to ask, but here is why you ask it this way. We're all taught OPQRST. Okay, great. Ineffective, right? We need to phrase it in ways that we get into the perspective of the person across from us, so that we incorporate things like, why do you want to be quiet at this point? What do you do with your body language? What do you say? What words do you say? And then when do you not speak? And so we really break down every single step of that day one, day two process, so that by the end of day two, that people say to whatever care.
So Dr. Jen looks to be frozen again. I think I'm frozen too. This is Chiro Hustle. I just want to throw a couple shout outs there because I don't know if you guys can hear Jen or if you can hear me. But can you hear me now, Jen?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. We were both frozen in time there a little bit. Dan McCoy,
Jen.
do you know Dan McCoy?
Yeah, I haven't met, I don't think in person, but I know of him, yes.
Yeah, he's like a chiropractic. He's like the guru of connection. Like that guy. If there's anybody that needs to be known, I was talking to a guy, Charles Francis, the other day. He's a friend of mine, and he's like, "Dude, have you ever seen that show or that movie, Shawshank Redemption?" And
Yes.
that guy Red. He goes, "Well, if you need something, you always ask Red," and that's kind of how I feel about. That's kind of how I feel about Dan. If you need something in chiropractic, you ask Dan McCoy about like where to find something or who to go to, and he's the ultimate connector.
I will put him on my list of resources. Yeah, awesome.
Super cool guy. But yeah, he was like, he wishes that he could be a chiropractor so he could come in and take the day one, day two classes.
You know, we've had other people ask us, you know, in natural healthcare and you know, and acupuncturists and other people say, I want to come and learn this. And we are Chiro only. We are Chiro centric. We want to use our powers for, you know, pushing chiropractic forward. So right now, I understand, Dan. I understand. I would want to do that too.
Great technique. I love it. So we have a lot of people that have been watching our live stream this morning. I know you have a pretty hard line on when you have to stop today. Is there anything that I didn't ask you you'd like to share with our audience?
No, I mean, I really think if you are struggling out there, is the one thing to know is that you know, there's help. We can teach you. And it saddens me. I think I just talked to a doctor last week who, you know, was declaring bankruptcy, who was, you know, going to close his doors, only in practice 6 years. And there's help out there. We can teach you what to do. It does not have to be your end game. So we want to reach out. You have to do something. The best, very, very best investment you can make is in your practice and learning how to be badass in your office and have more fun. And so yeah, reach out, connect with us. I know you have Facebook Lives. We have Facebook Lives. There's lots of ways to get in contact with us, but let us help. We're here for that.
And I'm going to close out with some goals and some aspirations that you might have for 2018. Tell us a little bit about what you guys have in store and some personal things that you're looking forward to this year.
Oh boy. Well, we are going to continue to connect with our audience, like you are with Facebook Live. We're on live every 2 weeks on Tuesday evenings, and we share a lot of really good content. So that's what our number one goal is, to be on consistently reaching those docs that need help. We're looking forward to some master classes this year. We will have a few coming up. We don't release all the dates up front yet, but we're looking forward to that. And reaching more doctors. I mean, we have a lofty goal this year of doubling what we currently have in the tank, so that we can continue to grow chiropractic and push it forward. So personally, boy, juggling. It's a juggling act at my house. Between full-time practice, being a mom, being a wife, being a coach and trainer with Close for Chiro, that's my one goal, is to keep all the balls in the air. Jim, is that good?
No, that's great. That's great.
Possible?
Yeah, I know the feeling. I don't know the wife and I don't know the mom part, but I definitely know trying to keep all the balls in the air and to keep the momentum going and to stay sharp on all fronts. And I think that that's one of the greatest gifts that the Close for Chiro team gives to the people out there, is you guys give the opportunity for people to, stay sharp on all fronts. And I know once you start transforming the practice game, it starts transforming the money game, it starts transforming the relationship game. And then, people just start to realize how much human potential they actually have, how much they can actually push forward and give. And then, it just it's easier for them to articulate peace of mind. It's easier for them to articulate like a bank statement.
Yes.
and their practice members feel more filled up, and they're getting better care, because who wants a doctor or a chiropractor to be putting hands on them when the energy inside of them is full on stress?
Totally. 100% agree. And we can never come from that place. I mean, and it's hard. I mean, that struggle is real out there for doctors, and I know this. But you owe it to yourself. You owe it to your patients to get right, to straighten things out. Like I said, mentally, spiritually, energetically, you want to be happy in your office. You want to be constantly emitting that vibration, right? That helps. But we've got to start somewhere. They talk about the poverty complex, and how do you get out of the poverty complex? Well, you get out of that mindset by getting out of poverty. I mean, we got to teach you how to do that, right? That's a critical component. We got to start somewhere. And that's the place to start, is learning how to be a better business person in your practice. And then all else follows. It's awesome.
I agree. And Lily Serrano gave a good comment for you. I'm not going to read it. It's like a paragraph, but I'll just read the last line. She says, "You are the real deal." Like, the comment's so big, it almost covers your face.
And yours. Yeah, it does. Thanks, Lily.
And I know that, there's a lot to be learned from what you guys do in strategy. And I thank you guys for being our first sponsor for the Chiro Hustle podcast. And I appreciate you saw the vision early on with us. And I love what Dr. Dan Bay is doing for the profession, and Sean Rundle. I can't say enough about what you guys are doing as a team. I love your guys' every 2 weeks episode of the Close for Chiro live stream. You guys do that spot on.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And we're happy to support. You're doing and we appreciate it.
Well, awesome. I think that we covered a lot of stuff, and we had a lot of comments. We had a lot of reactions. People absolutely love what you're doing, and I do too. So we're in agreement, and that's one of the first things that you'll teach people when they come out and do the Close for Chiro systems. And I know you guys have a masterclass coming up when?
We do, February 23rd, 24th in Chicago. And I do have in Chicago. If you, I do have a promo code that's good for 24 hours. So if anybody wants it, please private message me. I'm happy to share that with you. That'll be good for 24 hours.
Awesome. Well, you are my you're my first interview of live streams of my women's series. We're blanketing the chiropractic community with women for the first 4 months of the new year. We'll
Awesome.
probably have a few guys in there here and there, but I'm really trying to bring up the empowerment for the woman's voice in the profession. So you are
Awesome.
actually my first live stream of the new year of
Woo.
the card holders of women. So thank you
Very
so much
cool.
for being a part of the live stream today. And yeah, I
My
feel
pleasure. Thank you for having me on. I really, really appreciate that, Jim. It's awesome.
well, I know that Russell Simmons is one of my favorites when he would do Def Comedy Jam and he would say, "Good night, God bless everybody." But it's morning time, so I say good morning and God bless, just like Jim Chester would say.
Good morning. God bless you too.
So thank you so much for being on the show this morning, and just keep on rocking and keep on closing.
Thanks. And you too, Jim. Take care and thank you.
Okay, we'll see you.
See you later.
Thank you for listening to Chiro Hustle Live. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.